Awesome. So, welcome everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and evening to all of our attendees around the world. Welcome to the webinar, The Future of Fitness, Unlocking AI Power in Fitness Coaching. My name is Nguyen, and I'm the co-founder of Everfit, and I am your host for today. So we're diving into a very exciting intersections of artificial intelligence and the fitness industry, the two that we are very passionate about at Everfit. And joining me on this panel today are, individuals with profound experience and expertise in the realm of fitness and technology. I would love to introduce everyone to you guys. So first we have my co-founder, Jonathan Wang. And then I want to introduce Sean Greeley, founder and CEO of NPE, the company that helped fitness entrepreneurs build sustainable seven-figure businesses without sacrificing their personal life. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mohammed Iqbal, the founder and CEO of Sweatworks. His company have involved in a very global, recognized digital agency that's serving a lot of big clients in this fitness industry, Equinox, SoulCycle, Strava, Lifetime Fitness, you name it. Welcome, Mohammed.
Thank you. Welcome.
And last but not least, we have Matty Perkins, our VP of Platform and Growth. So Matty brings in a wealth of experience from his 15 years tenure in operations, products, and growth at Les Mill. And welcome, Matty.
Thanks very much for having me.
Awesome. So I'm so thrilled to have every one of you on this panel today and have a very productive and very insightful conversation. So before diving into the topic of AI, just for those of you who are very new to Everfit, our platform empowers 80,000 coaches and trainers around the world to basically simply craft, deliver, and monitor client training program, whether online or in person. So we have a very holistic approach with, workout, nutrition, habit, communications, community, and payment with a sprinkle and layer of automation that make it so easy to launch or scale any of the training businesses. So our philosophy is really centered around personalizations, and we really help coaches to scale both high touch or low touch practices. So why are we here today? Our team, Everfit, John and I, we're based in San Francisco in the heart of Silicon Valley, and we're so close to all the innovation and especially AI. So we're always thinking about how to really leverage new cutting edge technology to give our customer, fitness coach, gyms, entrepreneurs to really get ahead of competition. And that's why brought us to the webinar today, as we are further investing a lot of resources and looking into our technology with AI. So before jumping into the fireside chat, I want to touch on a little bit of the history of AI so people understand a little bit more about the history and the background. So in 1956, a group of engineers, researchers gathered at Dartmouth workshop and coined this term artificial intelligence. And in short, it's AI as we know today. But not until 2016, AlphaGo by Google beat the world champion in the very complex game of Go. So people heard more about this, AI things. But not until probably last year when ChatGPT from OpenAI really went full force with this tool that everyone just enter whatever questions into this chat and open and get like some response from it. It went more commercial, and now I can imagine it became one of even a daily tool of a lot of people in around the world. So how do we take it from here? When with every industry start going to AI and really try to figure out how to really make use of this, leverage this amazing new potential technology. And obviously fitness industry is not an exception. Apple, for example, Apple just announced that there will be an AI-powered coach coming. So it is a lot of weight in our industry, health and fitness, in the realm of AI. So yeah, that is a very brief history of AI. Obviously, there are a lot of technical things out there with like machine learning and so many things happening, right? But this is, what kind of relate to our industry. So before I want to move on to, the actual discussions, does any one of you on the panelists have any other comments to add?
Yeah, I'm happy to go ahead and chime in. I think we're really in a transformative area of technology that needs to be accepted and embraced. And if you really look at the history of computing, we're in AI today. And if you reverse back 10 years, that was the era of mobile computing and the rise of mobile computing and the App Store. Before that, it was the rise of the internet and the World Wide Web. Before that was the rise of the PC and so on. So every 10 to 13 years in technology, there's been a transformative event that happens, which then really propels forward adaptation and acceptance of that technology. To your point, Long, the release and the public release rather of ChatGPT last fall, I think, was one of those inflection points that really helped propel AI into the mainstream, and it really helped propel development, entrepreneurs from thinking about new concepts of AI. So I do think that this is truly a transformative era and technology that we're in today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, I would love to get started and hear all the thought from all of you guys related to this very hot topic on the market. So first question is probably, this is something a lot of people are pondering about, like every fitness coach, gyms, or entrepreneurs out there. Is AI a friend or an enemy? So maybe you want to go first, Mohammed?
Sure. I mean, and it's kind of complicated here, right? Because AI could be viewed as both. I do think AI is a friend in some cases because it is a tool that, as you mentioned, with some of our clients, the larger gyms that we're implementing to help equip coaches to be more successful in coming up with almost like navigation. If you use Waze today, everyone's used to having 2 to 3 to 4 different route options and how to get from point A to point B. Imagine having that optionality with the trading program. Imagine being able to pull in data sources from their wearable, from their 8-sleep mattress, and having that really inform what your trading program is going to be. That's the power of AI. I think it could be viewed as the enemy because it also could put certain jobs at risk. If you don't use AI, if you don't incorporate AI like anything else in technology, you're at the risk of being obsolete. I would say a trainer or a coach that uses AI is definitely at an advantage than someone who does not use AI. So if you aren't willing to embrace it, it potentially could risk your ability to serve your clients better.
I really love that. I think, like, to double click on your point, one of the quote I kind of encounter on the internet recently is, AI might not steal your job, but the people with AI will. So obviously it seems like AI is giving people an edge in terms of like being more productive and efficient. So give them more skills that maybe they're easier being hired. So yeah, Sean, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I also love this question. I think it really is about a mindset and perspective question, but it's also a business strategy question because, you look at the big brands that are using different pieces of tech, Apple and Fitbit and so many others. And it's interesting, right? And it's for a lot of us who love technology, it's easy to geek out over this stuff and get excited and want to learn all the latest things. But you go back to the fundamentals of what is your business strategy and plan. Who is your customer? What is their problem? How can you serve them better? The people who geek out and track everything themselves and are going to use AI to do better, that's probably not your average fitness coaching client to begin with. And there's so many segments of the market that this doesn't matter at all, really, in their life and what's preventing them from being successful in their fitness journey, whether it be getting out of pain, whether it be, just getting into motion and movement. if you look at the vast landscape of people who have a problem to solve or goal to achieve in fitness, that could be your customer. You get to choose what segments of the market you want to focus on, but it's probably not a lack of data or a lack of robots that's blocking that person from being successful and getting the value they want of engaging you as a coach or as a service offering, right? So we want to understand fundamentally, where is the market problem to solve, and how can you solve the problem in the market to grow your business and give value, right? And so there are tools that will be helpful to you. Just like we all use tools, plumbers go to work, you use a wrench, you use different pieces of pipe, right? Coaches, depending on what type of market you serve and how you serve them and what is the problem to solve with them, these are tools that can help you do your job better. And absolutely, you want to be educated about how to use tools. If one guy's using a drill and you're using a manual screwdriver and you're trying to build a house, the guy with the drill is probably going to do better. He's going to build better houses and build faster houses, right? So again, it's really a mindset question, but I think fundamentally for you, the impact on your life as a coach or as a gym owner, whatever the segment of the industry you work with, think about what your business strategy is. Think about what are the problems to solve to your market, and then think about what are the tools that are going to help you accelerate. And certainly there are value in AI in a number of these cases, but there's also a huge amount of the market that this doesn't matter right now. This is not the blocker on you serving and providing value at scale.
Yeah, and so it seems to be like a matter of education as well, not only mindset, to really understand what AI can do and what advantage it can really give you and how you can really use it.
Yes, absolutely. Again, fundamentally comes down to your business strategy, right? Who do you serve? What problems do you help them solve? What tools are going to help you do different things better in the customer journey, whether that be in acquisition of marketing and sales, whether that be in programming and delivery, whether it be in operations and service. There are going to be parts of everybody's customer journey and back in business that tools can make your life easier. And really, it's just a triage list and a backlog of what are all those things. Where are you spending time and either using manual humans to do that work and making errors or inefficient? The $10 an hour tasks, leave those to the robots. the places where people are making a lot of mistakes, see if there's a robot that can help you. But again, go at it systematically. And we're going to see, you shared Dartmouth in 1950, right? It's 2023. I can tell you that we all don't know what the next few years are going to look like, but they're going to be different and they're going to move quickly. And so again, you want to continue to revisit this conversation and identify what are the opportunities for you today to, again, accelerate your success and how you serve and deliver value at scale to the market. That's the job to be done. That's business.
That's great advice.
Yeah, I love that. I think that is so spot on. And I actually love this question long. I completely agree with everything that Mohammed and Sean have said. I want to a little bit be controversial with the premise of the original question that you asked, because I think when you use terms like friend and foe, we end up assigning human qualities to something that actually isn't human at all. And it, in some ways, can distort, especially for lay people, the way AI works. I think if you come back to what Mohammed said just a few minutes ago, there's like a straight line of technology, not actually straight, but from in the fitness industry, we used to write down training plans. Then that got easier when we put them in Excel. That got easier when we had Google Sheets and we could suddenly share them, to today when you've got more sophisticated tools like the Everfit coaching app. I think if we look forward, the same as you see on LinkedIn, like don't apply for this job unless you know how to use Outlook or Excel or any one of those things, we can imagine a future where it says you can't do this job unless you have at least a basic understanding of how these tools work. So, coming back to what you said about AI taking our job, that's like, it imagines it as if a human were going to come in and take your job. It's actually, just like you said, other people that know how to use these technologies are going to get opportunities that people that have ignored this technology will not. So my advice is ignore this technology at your own peril here if you are a trainer.
Yeah. No, I like, just want to like hone it. I feel like with AI, right? I think like everyone said, it's like a great tool, but ultimately everyone needs to train and work out in person, and with coaching, uh, what like we believe most strongly in is the personalization aspect that can help with coaching, and people will continue to prefer the human element, getting communication and advice and motivation from a very real human. And so what we believe is AI will definitely assist coaches, right, in program creation, data retrieval, like insight analysis, maybe even with like messaging improvements. But like that, all of this is to increase productivity for coaches, and they're like completing their daily tasks, right? Just helping them be better coaches. And so, like everyone said, I think it's definitely a technology to explore and to embrace and not be afraid of.
Yeah, and I think one of the question that I got asked a lot from a lot of coaches were there are a lot of AI app out there that automatically build, workout for clients and people opt into those options. Is that scary? Will that kind of, steal my job, right? And sometime I got some really like answers that, if when I work with a coach, if I don't go to the gyms or I don't put in the work, I feel like I'm disappointing my coach. I feel I'm letting him down. But at the same time, it is the AI. Am I letting the AI down? Do I have that emotion toward this AI coach? So that's like a question for a lot of, a client, right? So that human relationship, human emotion and connection is very, very important in shut up personalized, like personal training, right? It's very personal, very emotional. So I think, that's great to hear, or this kind of different point of view from both sides, like a friend or a foe. So going back next to like the next questions, I would love to ask the panelists, what are some current trend in AI application as a whole for our fitness industry that maybe coaches and people in the space we should kind of watch for?
Yeah, I can kick that off. And Long, I'll just carry your last point about personalization. That is really the current trend that we're seeing right now is really leveraging AI to help personalize the journey for your client, for members in a way that could not have really been done before because of the wealth of data. The best thing that AI does, and really we talk about AI like it's something magical, but at the end of the day, it's algorithms. At the end of the day, it's the ability to process big data. What we have today are just very powerful processors provided by companies like NVIDIA. But at the end of the day, it is essentially business logic and algorithms. But with the extent of data that, for example, a company like Everfit is going to have, you're going to have, I think you mentioned earlier, about 80,000 coaches and all the data coming in from them with training plans, even, when someone likes to work out, little things like that. Moving someone's workout time by 30 minutes could impact the effectiveness of that workout by maybe 50%, or they could work out harder, or maybe they could be more effective. How do you dial in nutrition, right? Talking about nutrition is another big part of this. So as a coach and as a trainer, as Sean mentioned, this is a tool. It's a very powerful tool to use, but you need to learn how to use it. Just like using a drill, as simple as a drill might be, there are different torque settings, there are different speeds, there are different bits that go in. You could use, just because you have a drill, if you're only used to using a manual screwdriver, the drill might do more harm than good when you're building that house, right? So you could build it really fast and it could then collapse and fall down. AI is a tool that you need to learn, you need to get trained on, you have to understand. But if you could invest some time into it, I really think this could be a powerful tool. So I think really what we're seeing from our end, which is really on the enterprise side, has predominantly been focused on building a personalized home screen, a personalized training plan, and really dialing in for that member to help them achieve their goals in the most effective and safe way as possible.
Yeah, that's really interesting because where your industry and where you have a lot of different kind of information and insights coming from, like the enterprise, like the big guys, what the industry, like big people are thinking, and and we like Sean, right? Like you work with a lot of, smaller business or medium size or sometimes like also enterprise. So I would love to hear kind of what are you seeing in this market right now with some of these trends?
Yeah, so I think, the trends, I think about probably three main places where there's a lot of value and probably low-hanging fruit for the listeners on the call would be, you think about operations, generally speaking, in service businesses, right? Not like when we're actually delivering services, we're programming, we're assessing clients, we're, communicating updates and so on. The challenge is the more clients you get and the more clients you sign up, the bigger your portfolio gets, the more complicated in time and volume it is to service that amount of clients. So a lot of coaches in small boutique gyms, they get capped at X amount of clients or members because you don't have any more time, right? And the more people you sign up, it's like, oh no, there's more to be done, right? So if we think about those things in operations, and I love how John said about, when we're looking at the insights from the client tests, or when we're programming and doing dynamic, adjustments to the programming based on today's data to inform tomorrow's workout, right? Those are all things that we can leverage tools to, again, decrease our time and help deliver value faster and help reduce like the constraints, right, on delivering value at scale. So operations and delivery is probably job number one. And I think, you guys are already innovating on that at Everfit to provide more value to customers. So that's number one. Number two would be really in the acquisition side. So, again, a lot of coaches are great coaches and they're not marketers and they're not, people who are great naturally at developing messaging and campaigns and effective positioning, all the kind of stuff that helps us acquire customers, which is really just letting the people who you can serve, letting them know you exist and why they should choose you and what the value is in working with you, right? So, but those things of developing good messaging, we have AI we use today in funnel creation, in ad creation with clients, and being able to, be very clear about these are the people I work with, these are the things I do, and then hit a button and have suggestions of messaging, images, things like that you can use, which again, you still want to then assess that, right? And you still may have some things that you've personalized and we would recommend you use, but it will start to cut down, I think, the friction and the overwhelm and just the gap of where you're standing at a blank screen right now trying to do those things and you're just not sure what to do and you don't know what to do, right? So we can start to accelerate giving you, moving in the right direction with reasonable tool stacks that support again, awareness for your prospective customers and leading them down the path to become a customer and engage your sales process. So that would be the second piece. And then third is just a lot of the business administration. I mean, if you're still doing manual labor with data entry for your accounting or things like that again might just be an hour a week or 2 hours a week, but over a year, that's 100 hours. Well, I'm sure you could take that 100 hours and deploy them better in your life or in your business to provide more value, right? So again, assessing what are the menial tasks, the $10 an hour tasks. And this is something, we encourage business owners to do, once a quarter, is to just reassess your calendar for the last 90 days. Where are you spending time, and audit, and then determine again, where can I automate those things, eliminate them, or delegate them, and again, continue to leverage up my time. Everybody, if you want to grow, you better be working on things that are more valuable in terms of output, and not getting stuck in menial tasks that suck your time and energy and so on. And everybody's got those, and they creep up. It's kind of like weeds in the garden, right? They're going to creep up, but you want to regularly assess and just determine the opportunity for you as a coach or as a studio or gym owner, and again, freeing up your time and creating more value in the market at scale.
Yeah, the common theme that I'm seeing here, both of you guys, Mohammed and Sean, is how can we turn this AI into, like a assistant, like a magical assistant, just like Jarvis in Iron Man, right? Like you tell it to do something and it can execute that for you with, maybe 10 times faster than maybe you do it manually. But that sounds like very potential and how many way that we can really think about it, but we probably still need to understand it more and how to really approach that. And especially at Everfit, we want to make things so easy so that you don't have to learn so much and it just magically work for you. I think that's just really in our DNA and our philosophy of how we really build our product.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that I'd add, I was struck by this when we were preparing for this call, Mohammed, is you mentioned that one of the things that's a great opportunity in the space is that via now sort of AI being everywhere, these tools have gone from being only accessible to people in large enterprises to actually being a lot more widely available to people who are running smaller businesses or even solo trainer businesses. And that's such a great unlock, especially in some of the areas that you've mentioned. Just even the last couple of days, OpenAI's announcements about making it easier to have custom bots is going to be huge for some of these people. They're going to be able to expand their reach, even if they're just one. Facebook talking about using AI in paid search and in advertising, which Sean touched on previously. I think one of the things that's going to be amazing here is if you are feeling today like you're not able to compete with some of these larger players, AI presents a fantastic opportunity and people should be paying attention.
Yeah, I would agree with that. When you look at technology's been expensive, especially new technology, for as far as I can remember, right? So whenever new technology comes out, it tends to be expensive. So the people that typically get it are the ones that can afford to make that investment. So when you look at some of the larger clients that we work with, yes, we've implemented and built some incredibly large and extensive platforms. And if you're a trainer, you might think that, okay, I've got to be a part of one of these larger gyms in order to leverage the benefits, the tools, and all that they give. But let's look at where a trainer could be today, right? Like, so for example, you can use a platform like Everfit, which aggregates so many of you and could build a machine learning engine to drive the recommendations to give you the same advantage that a trainer working for a big facility might have. Let's look at something else. When you look at and another application of AI, a lot of you might be familiar with InBody or STQ or these other kind of body composition DEXA scan types of products. Well, guess what? Using AI today, you can actually do a lot of that with pretty darn good accuracy from your phone. In fact, I do my scans now from a phone. I don't go into an Equinox to do it, and it's so much more convenient. I'm in the privacy of my own home. And maybe long, that's something we could talk about, is how do we implement like a scan like that into your platform. But that's another way where AI is making technology a lot more accessible to more people. And to your point, even what ChatGPT just announced with your own chatbot, that is actually more significant than people realize. And here's why. If you looked at what ChatGPT released last year, it was trained on a public model. It's trained on publicly available data that it crawled from, whenever it started until 2021, and they just announced that they expanded it out further this week. But when you could train your own model with your own data, I would be willing to trust that recommendation a lot more than just generalized information. So I think that was another big leap, and you're going to see these leaps happening over the next couple of years, but this technology is going to be progressing very quickly.
Yeah, one of the big things with, when ChatGPT came out was hallucination, which when AI and ChatGPT just got an answer from the public and it's not completely accurate, but it says so confidently that it makes it seem to be true. And that has been like a big problem. But yeah, agree, when you can really train on your data, that's make a very vast difference. And it is very significant because now you can really trust that is actually true. Awesome. And so we are now, since we already talked about like kind of fitness industry at a vast, right? It sounds like there are a lot of movement in the industry. So how do we kind of go a little bit deeper into what are some use cases that you feel AI can really help in, the realm of fitness coaching, delivering this amazing program and training by coaches or gyms or different people in the industry?
Would you like to go? Well, Sean, why don't you go first since I took the last one?
Yeah, well, I think that you've got a great list right there in front of us, and what I think is probably a better question for the listeners is not what are some of the use cases, but what are some of the use cases for you today, and where do you start? Because it's not a question of if you should get leverage. It's a question of where do you want to start getting leverage right now? Because honestly, I don't care to have conversations about theory. I care about what's going to make your business better next week. What can you do, like if you block an hour this weekend, to start making better tomorrow? better for you, better for your customers and your clients and members, right? And again, it is this question of how do we take this information and an idea and how do we put that into a strategy and a plan and actual operations for your business immediately to get going very quickly. So, I think we've established in the first 30 minutes, this is a valuable conversation. You should be getting leverage, right? And so taking it a step further, where should you get leverage right now and how do you start doing that immediately? And just find some low-hanging fruit. Where are you getting sucked into? I know so many coaches who spend Sundays doing programming for clients and they don't have a Sunday with their family because they're programming for clients for the week ahead because it's the only free time they've got right now in their weekly operations, right? So again, is there leverage for you in program design? Maybe, that might be an opportunity, right? But again, I think starting to assess your calendar, where you spend your time working your business, and if you're then have a team and you have labor where they're spending their time in their business, and just start determining a order of priority of where you can start to free up time and where you can start to create better experiences to remove friction for your customers, or where you can remove human error, like in where your team is doing jobs that then might, pull things off track. So, that would be the invitation for everybody listening to this conversation is, what do you want to do? Not what other people are doing, but what do you want to do? And when do you want to get started? That would be the next step to really explore and to start creating value immediately in your business tomorrow. Get your time back.
Yeah, Sean, I really like that. I mean, everything you said, yes. And the other thing I would add to it too is look at the tools that you are using. I saw someone in the chat talked about Trainerize and how Everfit is such a much better and stronger platform compared to Trainerize. But look at the tools that you're asking. Ask them for their roadmaps, right? Like you would ask Everfit and say, okay, what are you guys coming out with in the next 6 months? What are you coming out with in the next 12 months? Because if I'm going to be investing not just in paying a fee to use the platform, in some ways that's actually the smaller investment. The bigger investment is the time that you spent getting your clients onboarded, learning the platform, making the platform a part of your workflow. So I would really question the vendors that you're using and make sure that you're holding them accountable. You're asking them for a roadmap. You're asking them for where are new feature updates. And if they say, well, this is maybe 2 years out, maybe it's time for you to look for a new partner at that point. So AI is moving at such a fast pace that you want to work with a partner that is focused on innovation, that is focused, to Sean's point, on giving you your time back. There should be a tool that helps you win time back, not have you spend more time to grow.
I think that is such a good comment, Mohammed, and a great challenge that you've been able to work with. I think we're really lucky to already have a cadre of great partners that are working with us on AI features that are already in stages of proof of concept and getting ready to be trialed a little bit. One of the things I think all of us that's on the screen are table stake stuff. And one of the things I'm proud of for the work that we've done at Everfit is design forwards. We've really been using design thinking to get inside what some of the trainers are for, what some of the problems are rather for trainers at all different levels, and then work towards solutions that help translate their strengths using AI into those areas, like Sean mentioned, that you might not be so strong on. So you end up feeling like a more well-rounded player, or actually able to completely overcome some of those areas that weren't so strong. So where are trainers strong? Personality, communication, connection. How can we translate some of those so that in some of those other areas that are a bit more rote, or where you have to present yourself online in a format that's not the way you're usually used to presenting yourself, you're able to use AI to take something that is a strength and convert it to a strength in an area where you used to be deficient.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, one of the question in the comment from the audience is actually just asked, I spent a few hours building ChatGPT using like text input to make a fitness planner. And they're wondering, will this potentially challenge apps like Everfit? And this is bringing back to like the recent announcement of, ChatGPT is how we can really train on our own data, right? So when you use ChatGPT, that's using public data. And it could be right, it could be wrong, it could, it could apply for so many different things. But if we really bring it into our Everfit data, we would be able to look at whether this plan is suitable for this person. Let's say you are a 25 to 30 years old male, have try to gain muscle, right? We would be able to really see whether this particular training program have impact or have effective positively on the growth of muscle based on body fat, weight, and a lot of muscle growth. So we'd be able to kind of really see actual result and bring back those recommendations to you. So that's the reason why training on private data and our own data with 80,000 coaching, so many clients on a daily basis, it's very important. So that's to really give it an edge on how we can give more accurate and helpful and insightful information to you through our AI tool in the future. Yeah. John, do you have any thought regarding this, regarding kind of as Everfit and our AI?
Yeah, I think like with this question and what's listed here it's obvious what we really care about, right? It is very wide and all the different ways AI can help. And I think the power of AI right now is what can it do to what can it do to process faster than the human mind, right? And I think what we've seen so far is natural language processing, right? Creating summaries, right? Creating different suggestions with generative AI, creating different images, right? Different versions of images. And I think it's kind of similar to what Sean said, how do we get the time back, right? How do we figure out that $10 per hour task and give it to someone else to work, right? In the past, it would be as a trainer or as any business owner, right? You have everything from operations, right? Sales, marketing, everything to do besides coaching, right? And it's breaking that down and seeing okay, you're spending time on all of this, right? What is the best use of your time, right? Instead of you designing something for your website, right? I think most people will find a design firm, right, to do that for them, because they can do it much faster, much better, right? And so in approaching AI, is thinking oh, what can it do better with your time, right? And what can it not do better? And that's what you will be doing. And so right now it's choosing the programs, choosing who to communicate with, how to communicate with them, right? What to highlight and but I think eventually I think what we imagine is that if, for example, if it's data analytics, right, it can process the data much better, identify trends, right? Okay, what exercises are great for growing certain muscle groups, right? What if someone is showing signs of stress, right? How to turn down their coaching, their training and intensity, to give them more time to recover, right? If it's athletes, right? Or when to message a client and maybe what topics you can talk about with certain clients. I think that's something that we believe AI will what we hope to implement in the future, that will be able to help coaches.
Yeah, and definitely thanks to Mohammed comment about asking your vendor, what's the plan? People ask immediately, what is Everfit plan for AI?
Love a good challenge.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think, throughout this webinar, and also especially this questions, right, is really give our audience and our customer a glimpse into kind of what we're thinking, our approach to AI. And as we further really passionate about this particular innovations and next stage of growth, we want to really invest into AI to be helping coaches and be save time and take the time back. So I think that's kind of how we really looking at this as a big scale. And there are one questions for Sean is how can us coaches get started using AI? Either any particular tools that maybe you recommend, any kind of particular kind of practice or approach, or even how to get started. Like there's so many things that they want to think about, right? Like productivity, efficiency. How do they get started?
Yep. Yeah, I see thanks Colin for the question. So I think the what I would not do is just randomly running and start doing things immediately because you get excited in a conversation. Don't do that. Okay. This is the time to take a step back and get very clear on what is your vision for your business, what are your personal goals that you're trying to accomplish with the business, and know your North Stars, right? So we talk about with entrepreneurs and coaches, business owners, what are your North Stars in terms of what you want your business to create. When we are clear on that, and we can say, cool, what is the business plan and strategy that's going to get us there, right? And this is a bit of an assessment around all the parts of your business, right? Who do we serve? What we do to go find those customers, sign them up, serve them. What are if we need to have a team, what does that look like? What does our tool stack look like? All the things in your business plan. So again, I think for most people, they hear about all kinds of things. We get excited about some new funnel software. We randomly start implementing a funnel and we get 80% there and get stuck and then nothing happens. And then we hear about there's a new ad technology. We run off and start doing some stuff there and we put in time and we don't really get over the wall and get lost there. And then we sign up for 5 other free trials of different systems that have big promises. We're going to make our lives better. And again, you have 50 systems. None of them are implemented. None of them are delivering value to you. You're lost. You wasted more time, right? And you're worse off than when you started. So again, take a moment, take a deep breath. Okay. Come back to the beginning, get very clear about what you want for your life, how your business serves your life and what you need it to create, and then start really auditing your full business plan. I mean, this is stuff we do every day at MP is help entrepreneurs and coaches and studio gym owners to create a plan for their business. And then we assess what are the tools that are going to help you, and then where and when do you implement them, and get very clear about your strategy and plan execution before you just start randomly executing. It's kind of like someone wants to get in shape. And what do? They go sign up for a gym and they just run around and start doing random things in the gym. That's the quickest way to failure, right? And really not want to go back to the gym. So again, get very clear on the goal, get a plan. If you aren't clear what that plan should be, ask for help, get support with developing a plan, and then get very clear about what you're going to do when, so it is incrementally moving you in the right direction in a scalable fashion to produce where you want to be with your business in the next 90 days, in the next 1 year, in the next 3 years, and so on. Is the way I would encourage people to think about these things.
Yeah, no, I think this question is actually perfect transition to like the next one that I'm gonna put out here. As we're getting super excited about AI, we think about it's like, the North Star is how we can really help us to bring us back time, and it's amazing. It's very, very magical. But how about what are some challenges that maybe we should be looking into when try to incorporating AI into the practices?
Yeah, I can start with that one. And I see, I think it was Dave or Colin asked a question. It might have been Dave, just around, well, you could upload data into ChatGPT's engine now and it's going to give you analysis. So the first thing, and this has been, you could hear it as an underlying theme in all of our responses during this conversation today, is really trust and credibility. That's really what it comes down to. One of the first challenges I would say is, okay, you're going to ask ChatGPT to create a 4-day or 5-day split program for your client. But if you ask it, you can generate a new response in seconds over and over again. So what does that mean? It means that don't trust everything that you see from AI and don't just take it and implement it, but rather take the approach that Sean said, which is get the response, use it as a tool to help you formulate the plan, but you've got to put your own intelligence, your own experience on top of it, because remember, AI can only generate an answer for you. Even if you upload data to AI, it can only generate an answer for you based off of what you've inputted into it. But there's so many other factors that go into building a program. And this is why most new gym members that sign up as part of a New Year's resolution drop off after 6 weeks. At least in the United States, 18% of all new gym members start in January during the New Year's New You thing. And within 6 weeks, they're no longer there and they're off the program and going back to the old habits. But those are only things that you as a coach are going to know about your clients that AI is not going to want to know. It's just not going to have an answer for right now. So I think that's one challenge, is where you think that, okay, you have AI now and it's going to just replace a task. I think it'll make you more efficient in a task. I wouldn't go as far to say that it would replace your core competency in its entirety.
I'd love to build on that, Mo, because I think that's so important. I think AI is a great place to outsource tasks, but not a great place to outsource critical decision making.
Right.
And there's a tendency, as you get into that phase of finding AI to be magical, quote unquote, where you start to give it more and more complex tasks. And Kevin Roos, who's a columnist for the New York Times, wrote in his book a couple of years ago, Future Proof, he coined the concept of machine drift, where we gradually start to let the machines make more and more important decisions in our lives. And you can see that in places like Amazon, where maybe we used to do a lot more research into the things we buy. And now if something shows up as like the first, second, or third thing Amazon recommends, we just go and do it. And that's an example of AI starting to make decisions for us in our life. Like, remember here as trainers, like the human component, like John mentioned, is one of the most important things. So let the machine do some of these tasks, but don't let the machine do the human parts of the job, because that's where we as trainers shine.
Oh, yeah, that's really great. And then, Sean, do you have any thought on this topic?
Yeah, I think, I'll just go back to my comment previously, is like the biggest challenge is, where do I start? And what do I do first, second, and third? And how do I do it in a way that's going to actually create value for me? And again, take that back into reassessing your goals with your business and your plan for your business, and then determining, again, what are the constraints and where's the leverage with your time or with labor right now. That's the stuff to walk through. And again, if you aren't sure, ask for help, get support in that process, because we want you to take this information and be moving in the right direction, not getting overwhelmed and not getting lost and not burning more time. That's the opposite, right, of the conversation. It's about how we create value quickly, not how we go, get lost on it. This is like, somebody Googles something at night and, 20 hours later, they've read everything on the subject. And, that's not what we want to do. We want to help streamline you with a plan, an executable plan for you today. And get support with that process would be my recommendation.
Yeah. So I guess like one of the other question is kind of going onto what other kind of tool of AI, if it's easier start, if beside ChatGPT, obviously everyone kind of know about, is there any other AI tool out there that each one of you are using on like a weekly, daily basis to really assist you with different things in your work and even like your customer work?
Yeah, I mean, look, one, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of your tools today probably have some AI element built into it. One that I used recently is I typically make a new PowerPoint deck weekly, right, for presenting to customers and whatnot. And in PowerPoint, there's this great tool called Design. You click on the button, it reads the content, it creates the slide for you, right? So that's just one way you could use AI to help upgrade your presentations. And then I would say, for things like finding images, for creating new content, AI could be a great tool for that. But a lot of these tools are actually inherently built into the platform. And people might not recognize it, but we use AI, like for example, with Peloton, there's an AI-based recommendation engine. One of the toolbars that you get for what to do next, we're actually using AI for. We're also doing the same at Beachbody. So I think you are experiencing AI in more ways than you might be aware of today. And there are a lot of platforms that you use within your business that are probably already using it, and you might not even be aware of it.
Yeah, like I definitely ask myself, use ChatGPT every day. And when they came out with DALL-E, the image rendering, instead of using Midjourney, it was really amazing. I was able to kind of generate different imagery for this presentations and different presentations, and it was like has been very life-changing for using it on a daily basis, just to kind of get like some brainstorming and some idea getting started.
I think there's something to be said for what Sean said previously about just, look at the strategy for business and then devote a little bit of time to this. I think a lot of us, as we started getting deeper into learning about AI, it starts with saying, all right, I think this is important enough to devote 15 to 20 minutes of learning a day. And then gradually that grows as you learn to apply those tools. So yeah, I think if you're a trainer and just starting to think, oh, maybe this is important enough to learn about, start small, like Atomic Habits is what we train our clients to do. Do that for yourself, 15, 20 minutes a day, and then gradually expand as you start to find it to be more useful to your day-to-day business.
Yeah, and I just add, ask yourself, for you today, is the biggest opportunity in acquiring customers, right? So sales and marketing, or is it in serving customers and delivery and fulfillment? And where do you see is the constraint? Is it one or the other, or is it a little bit of both, right? And then which direction you want to point in to ask yourself this question and go explore a little bit where there's leverage and opportunity. I think that's the most important. I mean, if you've got 10 clients and, automating and getting more AI leverage in fulfillment is probably not the leverage for you right now, depending on your business goals, right? If I need more revenue, then I want to start to look at where can I start to accelerate marketing and sales and maybe close some gaps and have that work better for me. But if I've got so many clients and I've got no time and I'm overwhelmed trying to serve those, and again, I'm trying to do programming on a Sunday when I'd rather be spending time with my family or doing things I love, maybe there's opportunity for you there in fulfillment right now. So again, this is kind of like a doctor, like where does it hurt right now with your business, right? When you know where it hurts, start to go into what we might leverage to solve those problems better today.
Awesome. So we have about 5 minutes left for the webinar. I want to open it up for any other questions from the audience. If you have any, please, add into the chat, and then we will kind of bring it up for the panelists for answer. Yeah. Meanwhile, John, do you have any kind of thought on this topic?
No, I think like everyone covered most of it, and yeah, I think just I think probably the main challenge is not knowing like what to use and like how much time to invest, right? But I think like what Sean said is it's like evaluating like what's important, right? And to like not get sidetracked and then spend like 50 hours on it when it's like not so important at the moment.
Great.
Yeah. So a lot of people just have like, final question probably about, how we as Everfit incorporate AI into our platform, right? We are still in a very early stage of understanding and investigating and actually developing our own AI practice. So there will be more information and also further webinars that we will share a little bit more regarding how we can really incorporate this amazing, cutting edge technology into our platforms. And just to kind of, end the webinars, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you to all the panelists for sharing your knowledge, your time, and insight with all of our audience. That's really great. If you want to get in contact with any of our panels here, we'll send a follow-up emails for everyone to everyone, and then we'll have all the information so then you can get in connect with our panelists. And to end this webinar on a high note, so Everfit AI is coming soon, so stay tuned. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and then have an amazing day.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Mo.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.